Okay, we are live. Okay, what's happened in the last 6 weeks? Catch me up. Have we had any major problems with 0.6?
No, I don't think there have been any major issues. I think there was one or two.
Jack,
That depends.
Jack had that.
Depends what you mean by major. If you're an MDI user, then there is a major problem.
Which is the MDI problem?
It was reported by a user a couple of weeks ago. It seems like the AstroPy's or the initial. Andy, can you remember what the exact problem was?
Yeah, it's 1523.
Okay, thank you.
And the units are not being handled correctly when you try to do submaps. Coordinate units.
Yet another WSS issue.
Well,
Yes.
why was that the case? Okay.
Don't think we've tracked that one down yet. It's still open.
WCS is such a pain. Trouble.
Okay, I see the discussion. Okay. So no progress in 3 weeks. That's not good.
Yeah, I really think we introduced WCS axes or WC.
Oh no. This is a units issue. I don't think
No, it's WCS issue.
Why? It's just calling a submap.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's not related to WCS axes.
Well,
Yeah, but submap calls some stuff in WCS somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
So there's some problem there. In AstroPy WCS.
Well, I would say based on what's in this discussion thread, the jury's a little bit out on that one. Something's wrong with the MDI metadata as far as WCS, AstroPy WCS is concerned.
Right.
No, but so that's solvable. This should be.
Yeah. I think it's definitely solvable. I think we got like halfway down this rabbit hole and stopped and then never came back to it. Probably another hour or two of digging around would sort it out.
Yeah, for your information, Albert, Stuart is very unavailable.
Okay. Really? More unavailable than I have been?
Slightly less.
Have you been hanging out with Stuart? Is that the answer?
I don't think Stuart's been in Texas, but maybe he has been. Let's see. I don't know what priority they assign this one, but okay. Okay, so we have that MDI. What about the shifting, Jack?
Yeah, so the actual the coordinates were being wrongly calculated on the shifted maps. So if you have a look at them, the shifting works fine. Both the template matching and the solar derotation features move, as expected, and map cubes get chopped correctly. It's just the coordinates were incorrectly calculated. So I fixed that. So that PR fixes that.
This is 1534, right? Yeah, okay.
Hang on. Yes. There was some discussion about trying to change the code to accommodate issue 1537, but at the last meeting there was some discussion that may involve changing the map object slightly. They're kind of two different issues. You know, if we can have just one shift function to shift coordinates in a map, that's fine. Then I can use that in this code. But I feel like we can use, you know, this PR can be accepted, and then we can sort of talk about how to apply shifts in general.
I'm not sure, Albert, if you saw my issue that.
Yeah, I'm catching up. Yeah.
Yeah, we should just have a shift function for maps.
So it's like a coordinate, like a metadata you're saying, where it just says this thing has been shifted by this much.
Right. So it would be a property. Well, it's I mean, this is what we discussed last time. We didn't reach any conclusions, and the discussion should probably happen online. But my thoughts were that shift would be a property, and you'd update it, and when you actually plot, it would include the reference pixel plus the shift.
Right. I mean, it's talking more and more about getting to more and more non-destructive editing, basically.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
As I recall, Jack, you had some issues with that, but
yeah, just because none of the other, like rotate would be another example where you actually want to rotate the data, or just apply the rotation function, or keep a track of what has been done to the object after it was originally read. That was kind of my problem. We don't keep a track of that anywhere.
We aren't yet, is what you're saying.
We aren't yet, yes.
Okay, well, kind of rating into the local part, I don't see any problem with your PR here, Jack. I'll give it a whirl offline, and then there should be a relatively simple prove and merge.
Yeah, what I've been doing is finding a sunspot outline in the HEK, and then making sure that the rotation function puts the sunspot outline in the correct place.
Sure.
So you can compare that sunspot, that sunspot outline has a definite place at a definite time. So any map that contains that sunspot should also, it should all line up. I just wish I'd fixed this for that paper that I published earlier on this year.
Okay. What else, guys? What else do we need to talk about? Man, we still have a lot of test issues open.
What about the color tables from 1526?
Iris SJI. Switch off.
Yeah, there were a few. Myself and David, I think, had a few comments, but I think they've been addressed.
I like how there's no description, Steve. Wait, Steve online? Damn it! You bailed right when I was going to give you a hard time about your lack of description, Steve.
What? What lack of description? Sorry, I just cut out and came back.
The Iris SGI color tables PR.
It literally provides RSSGI color. What else am I supposed to say?
I forget where I put it. I think I put a comment somewhere saying you should at least say something stupid rather than having no description provided.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yes.
Then at least people know.
Yes. So I went through a lot of trouble and rebased this just as an exercise for myself. It was a pain.
Well, that's good. So you're saying no regressions.
Well, you can just go look at it. It's clean.
It is clean. Sometimes I don't trust Git when they say that these are the only changes. Even Git gets it wrong sometimes. Okay, but it looks pretty good. So this is just a re-implementation of the IDL, the same as the IDL code.
Yeah. And it already has enough. Well,
Technically, no.
technically, no. I thought Jack had something. Jack, can you look at the changes I made based on your comments?
Yep.
I renamed the mission keyword to filter. I made it so it's not case sensitive. And I do raise a key error if no maps are found. Everything you've always wanted.
I don't know if I wanted the term filter. Could that be misconstrued as like the 94 filter or the...
They'll just have to read the docs, which says a string to filter the color maps presented.
Okay, anyone else got any complaints about that? Speak up or forever hold your silence. What Steve has put together, let no man put asunder.
Until someone complains. Yeah.
Okay, +1.
Okay, thank you. Hooray.
Hooray.
So just to be clear about rebasing, if somebody...
Now you ask? Wait, what?
No. If another PR had gone in before mine, I'd have to rebase again, right?
Well, if you want it as clean as possible, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you know, if it's just a single merge, then usually that's not really ugly. But when you have like a dozen merges or something,
Right.
then it gets a little crazy. I mean, ideally, if you want the cleanest possible history, yeah, you want to rebase every single time before you merge. Okay. Well, it doesn't seem like anyone has any other pressing PRs. I'll look at Jack's, but I'll should be able to merge it soon enough. We still have a bunch of PRs just hanging out there with a review next to them, so people should look at those. I guess we should be working on towards Unidown, right? You know what the latest is on that?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
The only effort seems to be from Ankit and DPS.
Ankit is gone, right? He's done? Wasn't he? He was one of the students?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Change of pace. You're saying, Jack, the MapCube animation's broken?
Which one is that?
You were saying with the AstroPy normalizer, this is 1, 5.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That's a bad one.
Yeah, that is a bad one. There's something weird going on, I think, with... Well, where are my comments? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I haven't tried any other AstroPy normalizers, but I have a feeling that it is it may be all of them, because they're a subclass of the matplotlib ones, I believe.
Yeah.
Wait, so what's the problem?
MapCube animations are broken if you use a AstroPy normalizer on the maps.
Which we are by default on most of them.
Which we are by default, yes.
So, but why?
Well,
Unknown.
I mean, you get an error or something, or?
So what happens is that, let's see. So when you turn on the MapCube animation, then the first image which is shown is just a plot, and that works okay. But then after that, you go through, you flash up every one after each other, and that's where it breaks. So it looks all right to start off with, but as soon as you press the play button, then Matplotlib just barfs, and then every image that goes along the in your stack in your MapCube generates the same error. So you get this just pages and pages of the same thing, the same error, and it seems to be my initial investigation seems to suggest that it was the normalizer is something is turning up none, which should not be none.
So this has to be an issue submitted to AstroPy.
Could be, yeah.
It could be. It may be. I don't fully understand how the animation works, and so there's something between. There's the relationship between the animation and the normalizer is not. I don't understand how, and the AstroPy normalizer, I don't understand. You use a Matplotlib normalizer, and it works fine.
Did you post the code, the error?
Yes.
Well, not the error.
Well, not the error, but if you follow that example, you should be able to reproduce it.
Okay, well, that needs to be looked into. Things that break are released need to be solved. I don't think anyone disagrees with that. Okay. So what do we have here? Issues, labels.
I'm changing the name of this label. Effects release? Or like effects released.
Wow.
Well, because it suggests that it's
I understand what you mean, but it's paired with effects dev. I mean, well, fine. You can change the name. I don't
every
care.
time I see it, I'm like, wait, oh, right. Confusing every time.
We do have a fair amount of effects release bugs here. Yeesh, yeesh, yeesh. Okay, people need to fix these things. Yeah, wow. Okay. Apparently, my Python's not working. That's great.
What does effects dev mean? Oh, the development version?
Yeah.
Doesn't everything do that? I mean, what is it?
Yes and no. I mean, stuff that's being done on a separate branch wouldn't be. But yes, it is a lower usefulness label. We don't develop enough on separate branches for that to really matter. But yeah, I mean, it would be like effects master would be essentially the one I would interpret that as. Okay. Is there anything we need to discuss elseways, aside from PRs and issues? I mean, in terms of students or logistics or meetings or anything like that?
Yeah.
It's Stuart.
Dude, you really have to unpack.
I remembered.
You really got to unpack, Stuart. You've been, what, like 2 months now or something?
7, nearly. Unpacking is for the week.
It just makes it easier to throw out if it's still in a box.
Yep. How is everyone?
Fine, just going over the issues that are crippling our release right now.
It might be helpful to talk about the shift issue. Stuart may have an opinion about this.
The metadata shift?
Yeah.
Was Stuart not involved in the last discussion?
No.
Okay. Stuart, what do you think about storing the shift in the metadata?
What?
153. God damn, I lost it.
1537.
You commented on that thread.
Yeah, we're at the top though. I guess what would be good is for you to read the last comment. Stuart.
Could work. Sets a somewhat dumb, dangerous, and complex precedent.
Yeah.
That's ominous.
Well, I'm just thinking you could apply that to lots of stuff.
Right.
Every history change to every bit of metadata ever.
Yep.
Which is fine, but doing it as properties like that is not the way to do it. if you're going to do it with every piece of metadata that we have.
Yeah, and we have to solve the metadata issue at some point anyway.
I would probably argue that we could just change it for now and keep it in mind for when we solve the metadata problem, we solve that like that, because it's a good idea. I just don't know whether, I don't know how urgent it is and whether it's worth hacking on like that rather than actually fixing the problem.
Yeah, I mean, what the properties could be are essentially APIs to changing the metadata, right? I mean, that's what they shouldn't. Yeah, they could be like setters and getters for metadata, and you're not supposed to touch the metadata, but these setters and getters go and do that for you in some safe way.
Well, that's kind of what we have at the moment, in that you can only set the metadata by manually doing it or calling a SunPy method to do it.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a feature that I would want, okay, and it would take very little time to code up.
In some ways, a good way to do it would be to abstract out the dictionary that's underneath it all, so that the dictionary kind of kept track of changes to it.
Oh, yeah, have a history associated with it. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're using autodict, or maybe even a subclass of autodict at the moment, and you could just change that so that every time you do an assign, it keeps the history.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
I don't know what you'd then do with it to make that useful, other than having a list of all the history.
I mean, that in itself is useful.
Because what you really want is to be able to undo operations, and that requires more than just keeping a list of all the history of all the keys in the dictionary.
Yeah. Unless you store the history in some clever way. Well, I mean, I'm not suggesting that we solve the entire problem with this, for this particular issue. All I guess I'm asking is that we create an API to do the shift, and then what we do in the background, we can worry about that later. We can do it dirty now, and then fix it.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth having a shift function. I just don't know whether, it's probably not worth trying to do some kind of history keeping for now until we have some more uniform way of doing it. Because it's not like we have it for anything else.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
What's going on with the students? So the students are done, right?
The what?
The students?
GSOF's finished, I think, yeah.
Yeah. We still haven't seen a demo from which one got it? The Iris, well, not Iris specific, but the Ginga stuff. I think that would be helpful to have on one of these calls. And since the student is gone, well, maybe we can get him to do it, but If not, I would recommend you or Nabil do it.
What was the Ginga stuff?
It's adding spectra and like taking slices and stuff through data to Ginga for presumably for iris support.
We also did, yeah, the iris support and also like SST and EKIST in the future, like general 4D cubes,
Right.
as long as they're in FITS files.
Yeah.
It's quite cool. We made some good progress for that kind of playing around with that kind of data, and it's pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite as fast as Crispex, but I'm pretty sure that the souls of at least 3 postgrads have been sacrificed to Crispex. So,
I guess what I'm saying is it would be really helpful if we went over the kind of final state of the student projects.
yeah,
Nabil, are you there?
Yeah, it's just
Oh, there you
what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, we basically accomplished most of what we wanted for Ginga. It just needs to be merged, just sitting there. And Rupak has had internet issues for the last week, so I'm hoping to have everything merged by probably next Monday. So if you want a demo,
Merged to Ginga?
yep, merged to Ginga.
Oh,
So if you want a demo next Monday, then I'll book myself for that.
okay, great.
As much as I want Rupak to do it, I don't think his internet's going to be up for it.
Mm.
But yeah, no, we got it surprisingly, well, I guess not surprisingly. Well, it depends on the point of view. But yeah, it works reasonably fast. We had a few issues, and we had to rewrite some of the bits of some internal parts of Ginga have had to be burned from the ground. But you can. I don't know how an iris FITS file was easily readable into Ginga now.
Oh,
And you can definitely do some basic analysis.
Sounds like you're itching to give a demo sooner than that.
fire it up, Swaggins.
I'm on my Windows computer. I have nothing here.
Hang on, I'm currently in the Ginga repo. I'm sure I can do something.
Yeah, it's bank holiday. I'm still at home.
well, you're not a bank. Why are you on?
Do you have any data there, Stuart, on your laptop?
I have cubes.
Do you not have the SST cube?
Yeah, I have Raoul's SST cube.
Did you figure out if you'd got the header wrong for that, or?
I don't think I did. Why? But has it been? Has
Well-
more experimenting been done on that one?
Well, because I created one. It worked
That
for
didn't
me.
work. Oh
But-
yeah, memory issues. Hang on, I just need to make myself a new swap space.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's you're gonna need to recreate that swap, aren't you? Ginga will break if your swap partition isn't large enough on the file.
Bye. Plus, I see that there's been a lot of activity on Ankit's PR that you like curve sources. Has anyone else but David had a chance to have a look at that?
I don't really understand what's going on with that PR. It's got 200 comments on it, and most of them seem to be about making the data smaller or something.
I think well, I don't know. I haven't been keeping tabs on it, but I know David's been giving it. Well, I'm assuming David's been giving it a thorough review. He's certainly been putting a lot of comments on it, so if he hasn't been giving it a thorough review, I don't really know what he's been doing.
This is like one PR for this entire student's project, right?
Yeah.
47 files changed, 57 commits.
Yeah, and it's notably being PR'd to the Unidown branch rather than master. Data, huzzah. Let's see whether this works. So, can people see this?
Yes.
Yep. I see a GUI.
What's that? There's like a fan of black and white stripes there, is that?
This.
Yeah.
That's,
Processing artifact.
It's a what
Not quite-
artifact? Iris?
It's ground-based data, so it's an artifact, I think, from the lens.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are still the wrong way around, Bill.
That's
Have you
weird
had-
because I created one myself and it seemed to be alright, but
Oh, so maybe it is me then. It's possible.
So were you moving through different wavelengths there?
Yeah, this is supposed to be time, but it's wavelength.
Looks very cool though.
So if I go cuts, I can draw a new cuts. I've got all spaces here.
Ooh.
Turn off your webcam, I'm coming in.
Line.
So if I click slip, then go axis 3, that's giving me a time or wavelength. Must be time. That must be wavelength.
yeah,
No,
axis 4 is time and axis 3 is wavelength.
Yeah, that must be wavelength. That makes sense. So we've got the line profile.
You guys aren't doing any WCS to translate things to physical, like, well, pixels, essentially, right?
No, not for that data. The SST, the fifth file created for the SST is very basic. It's got nothing but the amount of axes, the size of the axes, and the units for the axes, just so it can be
So
loaded.
this is just a test header file that I generated. It hasn't got any coordinate information attached to it at all.
Okay.
What else? You can do cuts that are Bezier curves.
Yeah, the files, is it 15 gigabytes or you're not? Is that not the
Yeah.
full file?
Yeah, this is a 15 gigabyte file. So you can have a Bezier curve cut. You can also have a completely free path cut.
Is it, when you're doing the Bezier stuff, well, anything, I guess, is it just finding the nearest pixels along that?
Yeah, it's not nearest pixel. It uses a line drawing algorithm to calculate every pixel that the line travels through. So it is just every pixel that is intersected by the line.
Okay, so it's not interpolating or anything or in between pixels.
It's literally drawing a line on a grid, and any pixel that the line goes through, it selects and plots.
Yeah.
But it's using like NumPy slicing operations underneath, so it's basically as fast as your disk I/O is in this case, because this is not in memory, because you know that'd be crazy.
Need a better laptop, Stuart.
Yeah, I need a laptop with like 64 gig of RAM, so I can just have this sitting in RAM. What was the other one? Oh, the overlay. I'll show the overlay. I'll just swap branches. Damn it, Google, you're too clever for your own good. So there's also, in a separate PR, line profile, which...
Yeah, the UI has to change. I don't like the way it is.
Oh, no, this is working. So as you mouse over it, plots one of the axes at the current pixel. So you can see, as you go from on disk to off-limb, profile changes quite substantially. How you can plot time. Variation of time.
It's pretty neat, and it does seem to be pretty snappy.
It is coming off the internal SSD in my laptop, so it's reasonably fast I/O, which is the limiting factor here.
But at least it doesn't require a second 50 gigabyte file.
It's true. It's true. And it's, I mean, so Ginga itself has a lot of the selection tools built in, but like the cut and stuff, it extracts a list of coordinates that the line goes through, and then we're just indexing a NumPy array along the correct axes to generate the plot.
Right.
Yeah, so pixel variation. Doesn't really make a lot of sense.
What axis is this?
The one of the axis 1, so it's one of the coordinate slices. It's like the coordinate slice along the first spatial axis with time with like.
Yeah, you can slice in any axis. It's only 2, I think. I can't remember what the second one is coded as, but that one literally makes no sense. If you pick the first 2 spatial axes.
Yeah, then they're kind of slicing. You're slicing lines and stuff through the data. You know, it looks like you're just looking at a point.
Yeah, you are. You're slicing. What's that? That's slicing a Y line, right? And slicing like vertically through that image.
Yeah, maybe those shouldn't be available.
Well, they're available because we couldn't work out. We couldn't be bothered to force a way to work out which one's spatial and which one isn't. But I suppose we could do that. Because if your FITS file's back to front or some other way aligned, or only has one spatial axis or something, you might want to use it.
Yeah. Can you click a point and have it locked on that point?
No.
That would be helpful.
So this is just like a quick profile thing, but if you wanted, yeah, I don't know. Did we get anything else in Liverpool that's worth showing? Well, we improved the multi-dimension slider. You can save.
No, Rupak wanted to work out line of sight velocity shifts based off wavelength, but I think unless he does that in his free time, that's not going to happen. But I think that's.
So you can like save slices as images and NumPy files. You can. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else I can think of? Oh yeah, hang on. What is just pick?
What was that, Stuart?
Oh, but you guys haven't updated this. This is just picking for.
Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah, it's pretty good. A substantial improvement going from there is only CrispX to there is now that.
Yeah, it kind of turned not into a SunPy project quite
That's
early
okay.
on.
So it doesn't have to be contributing to our code base to make our users happy.
Right. But you said you also had added stuff for Iris?
To
I was just saying that it opens an Iris file. The Iris files we have, we just open up and you can.
well,
Kind of
they are
building.
mostly compliant fits files, so Ginga will just munch them, and now you can do stuff with it. So.
Okay. Yeah.
I know that Alex has intentions to keep going on his project for a while, but the basic stuff is there. So the extrapolator's there and the visualization's there. I think he's currently been working on the analytical model stuff to try and get the comparisons working.
Yeah.
I just think he's been having issues with converting that to use AstroPy units. Yeah.
Any chance he might want to code a non-linear?
He has.
differential model?
So he went down to MSSL to see David the other day, last week or something. I had an interesting conversation with one of the guys there who has a non-linear force-free code. There is and I think we have the source for one that someone else sent in. So it's possible that we can get one in eventually, but there's still a fair bit of work to be done before that happens, really.
Okay. Yeah, I was very impressed by Alex's demo. Okay, well, I have to go.
Yep. Is there anything else we need to discuss for a wrap up? Okay, then the usual drill, PRs and issues. See if we can figure out the effects release stuff. Alright?
Yeah, we should probably try and fix a couple of the bugs that are floating around, right?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. Take a look at take a look at them this week. But everyone else should too.
I'm not going to get on to doing anything useful for the next couple of weeks, probably. So.
Sure. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. And
See you later.
yeah, talk to you next time.
Ciao.